Big news day in the Alberta independence world. Let's take a look. First, this banger video featuring Mitch Sylvester.
April 7th to April 10th. That's when a group will be in court seeking an injunction against the independence question that is before Albertans. Let that sink in. They're asking the court to stop this question from moving forward. That is exactly why what we do right now matters so much. Between now and April 7th, we need to gather as many signatures as humanly possible. Not casually, not when it's convenient, full throttle. Because when the people show up in overwhelming numbers, when support is undeniable, when participation is massive, that matters. It sends a message that this isn't a fringe idea. This is Albertans demanding to be heard. There are people trying to discourage us. There are people hoping we lose momentum. There are people telling you this won't work. Don't buy it. Movements succeed when ordinary people refuse to quit. We cannot control what arguments get made in a courtroom, but we can control how strong this movement becomes before then. We can control how many signatures we collect. We can control how many conversations we have. We can control how visible and undeniable this effort becomes. If you're signed, get 5 more people to sign. If you've been collecting signatures, double your efforts. If you've been sitting on the sidelines, now's the time to step in. Knock doors, call friends, text family, show up at events, have the respectful conversations. Do it peacefully, do it lawfully, do it with confidence. April 7th is coming fast. Let's make sure that by the time that hearing begins, the message is clear. Albertans deserve the right to answer the independence question themselves. No intimidation, no delay tactics, just democracy. Push every single day, get the signatures, let's go.
That was fire. There were some bars in there. Shout out to Mitch Sylvester. And okay, this is also very interesting. This is CBC interviewing Hasan Piker, who is a far left radical from the United States. By the way, that probably puts him as a centrist in Canada. But not only do they interview him, but they ask him, I guess, about Alberta separatists. If you're not aware of who Hasan Piker is, though, he said America deserved 9/11.
America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
He said a bunch of other stupid stuff like this.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization that is also a part of the Lebanese parliament.
Do we like them or no?
I think as a resistance group, they're pretty successful against Israel. But everybody hates them. Like everybody in the region, a lot of people don't like them. Like
I like what you like.
I don't have an issue with them. Let's just say they're
It's so crazy. I'm fine with CBC interviewing this guy, by the way. I don't care. But remember how big of a hissy fit Canada and the Canadian media had a couple of years ago when Tucker Carlson came to Calgary and Edmonton? Here's a bit of a clip from CBC around the time Tucker went to Alberta.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight.
A leading voice on America's right.
Thank you truly for having me.
Bringing his controversial ideas about immigration and race north.
This is a destruction of you and your culture and your beliefs and your children and your future as a country.
Tucker Carlson labeled an extremist by groups that monitor hate speech in the U.S.
Oh my gosh. Controversial ideas labeled an extremist. Do you think they would have brought any of the stuff up that Hasan Piker has done in the past that you could definitely say is controversial when they interviewed him? I haven't seen the interview, but I would have bet probably not. It probably was a softball interview. But anyway, with that said, now we will get to this clip of Hasan Piker talking about Alberta separatists.
What do you think of some of the rumblings from Alberta talking about how they want to separate?
I don't understand Albertan separatists at all. As someone who lives in America, you don't want to know what it looks like when you have no health care that's backed by the government at all. It's not great.
I'm so tired of pretending that the Canadian healthcare is better than American. It's not. Everything here, for the most part, takes way too long. Plus, Americans generally pay less tax.
It's interesting to see the same exact separatist movements being implemented in a Western country that's such a close ally to the United States of America, because this is what we have done for decades to Latin American countries, to countries in the Middle East, and now it almost feels like we're doing it haphazardly to one of our most loyal allies in the north.
What do you mean we? Alberta independence has almost nothing to do with what is happening in America. Give me a break, dude. Yeah, it's crazy Hasan even said that. That's such like an American-centric point of view that I thought leftists were supposed to be against. But anyway, pretty funny. Also, some pretty interesting posts on X today. Keith Wilson. Supporters of Alberta independence should sign the petition as soon as possible. A court injunction, this is what Mitch was talking about in that video, requested by the First Nations, may be issued on April 7 that could halt the collection of signatures. It is therefore essential that the required 177K signatures be gathered before that date. I'll take a look at one more X post here. This one here from Rise of Alberta. One of the most dangerous narratives right now is that the independence petition already has enough signatures. The numbers are private, but I know we still need more. The narrative that we already have more than enough signatures and that we have it in the bag is not true. Okay, so another interesting post there on X. And then to finish my video out, we will look at a little bit of this clip. This is a new clip here posted 8 hours ago.
But first, the move to mobilize ahead of a possible referendum.
Definitely, the First Nations have indicated that they are opposing any form of separatism or any idea of separatism, and I'm hoping that we will be able to make some joint announcements further into the future.
The group Forever Canadian there gathering Thursday to welcome the province's main Francophone organization into its fold as efforts build on either...
Why do the First Nations get talked about like a monolith like that? It's so annoying.
Side of a growing political divide in Alberta. And for perspective from Indigenous leadership, we're joined now by Trevor Mercredi, Grand Chief of Treaty 8 First Nations in Alberta. Chief Mercredi.
So I'm only going to play a little bit of this interview. Maybe I will come back and do a full video on this interview, but...
Pleasure to meet you, sir. Welcome to Alberta Primetime.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
All right. The Assembly of Treaty Chiefs of Treaties 6, 7, and 8 unanimously passed a vote of non-confidence recently, a vote of non-confidence on the Alberta government. How does the separatism debate factor into that decision?
Well, it factors in very heavily. You know, a lot of the legislation that's been passed recently by the UCP allows these type of actions to take place, this type of movement to take place. You know, and we're very concerned that, you know, weakening some of the rules around.
Why is every First Nations or Indigenous leader in Canada that goes on television left-wing? That's not natural. All these Indigenous leaders cannot be left-wing politically.
Referendums and that allows this to happen. It's very distracting, and you know, it really it's really hard to do any type of work or business with the UCP when these types of things keep happening.
I've read where the potential for a referendum on separation was maybe a final straw of sorts. Is that how you'd characterize it?
Absolutely. You know, there's many instances of legislation impacting our nations. You know.
So anyway, with that said, I'm going to finish this video. I won't play any more of this interview, but it would be nice for one First Nations leader to come out and be right-wing, talk about family values or cutting taxes and regulation or just anything right-wing, being super pro-pipeline. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe. Have a great day.